I have received word through the Sons of Elrond and the Wandering Companies telling of your valor at Fornost. You are to be commended for your skill and daring.
There are so few rangers left here now. It may be dangerous for you to remain. What if the Black Riders were to return? Perhaps it would be best to retreat.
That would be the wise course if I thought they would return. But I am certain they did not come this far merely to slaughter a small band of Dunedain. No, I will remain here with the few we have left. We cannot hope to fight the enemy, but we still have eyes and ears to gather news of their movements.
Have you heard anything of Aragorn? He was urgently seeking a certain halfling when we parted at Bree.
All I know is that Aragorn is rumored to have left Bree in the company of 4 hobbits of the Shire. I can only assume one of them is the hobbit he was seeking, and that they are now bound for Rivendell. There is worse news, however. On the night before they departed, the Prancing Pony Inn came under attack by unknown assailants.
We have returned to offer you our service. How may we best do that?
Truthfully, I would be happy for the extra hands. But it is clear to me that you 3 have a greater destiny. You may be needed more urgently elsewhere.
Then what would you have us do?
I advise you to make your way to Rivendell. Aragorn will be eager to hear news of Agendour, and he may have other tasks for you to perform. For now, the enemy seems to have turned away from the Shire.
Elrond's son suggested much the same thing. Very well. If that is your wish, I will lead Eredan and Farin to my home.
Perhaps there is something you can do for me on your way.
You have but to name it.
I sent 2 of my rangers, Kilaran and Luin, on patrol along the Brandywine River. They should have returned long before now. I am growing concerned for them.
They are both seasoned rangers who have served many years in this region. We can be certain they have not simply lost their way. From which direction would they be returning?
They were to follow the Brandywine north as far as the Great East Road, and from there to make their way back by passing through the Barrow Downs.
The downs are just north of our position here.
Then we'll make our way north by way of the Barrow Downs.
Perhaps we will discover some trace of them as we travel.
You have my thanks. Eredan has great skill as a tracker. If Luin and Kilaran made it as far as the Downs, he will likely pick up their trail. Farewell and safe travels to you all.
Приветствуем всех. Ну что, теперь мы достаточно наглядно видим, что у наших спутников экипировка появляется сама собой. И зачем здесь функция передачи им чего бы то ни было, остается загадкой. Ну, также пробежались немножко по Форносту. Нашли несколько новых тайников, но ничего особо полезного.
Well, I have a few things among our supplies that may help you on your way. Perhaps a few extra arrows for your quiver, and a few of Solana's healing drafts may come in very handy as well. Take a look.
Так, что тут есть? Ну, это настой не очень похоже. Больше на тайниках. Ну, в принципе, забавно, учитывая, что всего лишь тайник слабее защищает. А, в тайниках. Тайники еще найти надо. Дыхание дракона. Защита, сила, урон, защита. И урон от огня. Это, как выяснилось, все эти части комплекта, они совершенно случайно и между собой, судя по всему, не связаны. Несокрушимость. Вроде такого еще не видел. Ну, знаешь, тоже берем. Могущество. Лишнего не будет. Меткий стрелок. Вообще-то для рейнджера, очевидно. Ну, в смысле, следопыта. Надо он до своего доспеха еще дорастет самостоятельно. Здоровье, башмаки, скитальцы. Ладно, пока не трогаем. Посмотрим, что у нас есть. Так, 26, 8, 35. Несокрушимость. Так, у нас есть 40 могущества, 7 защита. У нас 2 на могуществе есть. Интересно. Так, стоп. Теперь у нас больше защита. Ну, по крайней мере, так. Чуть не забыли.
Welcome back, Loremaster. I'll admit I didn't expect to see you here again. I thought perhaps you'd seek the safety of Rivendell, if anywhere can be said to be safe in these times. It's good to see you haven't left us.
А мы с ним знакомы?
I discovered these relics amid Old Kingdom ruins. Could they not be used to make a weapon of quality?
These are relics of my ancestors, made in a time before the lore of Numenor dimmed. If I had the use of a good smithy, maybe I could make something of worth from these, but not here in the field. If you're bound for Rivendell, you'll find skilled smiths among Elrond's folk. Try taking these to one of them.
Хорошо. Но тем не менее. Мы же только что приобрели. Почему все такое поломанное?
Are you hurt? You look well enough to me. If it's healing drafts you need, you can get them from Maradan. I have a dying man on my hands.
Perhaps I can help. What is wrong with him?
Wrong? I don't really know. His wound is minor, yet his life is slipping away. I fear he is suffering from the Black Breath.
What can you tell me of this Black Breath?
It is some power wielded by the Black Riders, the 9 Nazgul. Their victims are stricken senseless, and without aid, they soon die. I've already lost 3 men to this curse. Elrond is the only victim who yet lives.
Then let us provide that aid. What can we do?
I hardly know. Drawing an arrow, stitching a wound. These things I have done countless times. The Black Breath is something I know only from the old rhymes my teacher taught me.
There is often wisdom in old rhymes. Can you recall the words?
It was years ago. Let me think. I believe it ran something like this. When the Black Breath blows, and death's shadow grows, and all lights pass, come Athelas, life to the dying. That's all I can recall.
What is this Athelas the rhyme speaks of?
An herb, commonly known as kingsfoil. It has little medicinal use, though some find it comforting for headaches and other small complaints.
Perhaps there is more virtue in Athelas than you know. Have you any of this herb?
No, I have none. You'll have to forgive me for neglecting to lay up a supply. But you see, no one bothered to tell me that the 9 ring-wraiths would rise up from ancient legends to trouble us here. If I had Athelas, don't you think I would have used it by now?
Does Athelas grow in these regions? I would be willing to go in search of it.
Perhaps you could find some at that. The plant is not native to Middle-earth. It was brought to these shores from lost Numenor, and planted in the lands where our ancestors used to dwell, including the Borrowdowns to the north.
How will I know Athelas should I come across it?
The plant has many long, smooth leaves, but you might best find it by its scent, a sweet, pungent fragrance. The Barrow Downs hold precious few such plants.
My road leads to the Barrow Downs. Should I find a Thalus growing there, I will return with a supply.
Хорошо. Если все, больше поговорить не с кем. Ладно, вперед.
I'm told the Barrow Downs are filled with ancient tombs. What do you know of them, Elf?
These tombs were made by the fathers of men in the depths of time. They were sacred to the men of Arnor, and they too buried their dead here, until their kingdom fell to the Witch King.
These hills have an evil reputation in the folklore of the Shire and Green, but rangers travel here often without incident. Still, I feel a sense of unease. We must stay alert.
Может быть, нам есть где расслабляться.
Well, Ranger, what have you found?
Rangers camped here perhaps 2 or 3 days past. These footprints could easily be those of Lewin and Kalaran.
Can you tell where they may have gone from here?
The tracks lead deeper into the downs.
Then we should follow them. Lead the way, Aradan. Have a good use for this.
Да. Только вот пришло решение не собирать трав, потому что пользоваться ими все равно особо не умеем. Место не занимают. Так сильно надо искать какое-то растение, которое мне едва ли получится определить на глазок. Все, пошли.
Just what I needed. This is just what I needed.
Зачем их опять собираю?
I mistrust this fog. It is no natural mist. An unnatural presence here, and it draws closer.
Ясно, это есть то самое растение. Больше одной веточки нам не надо.
Beware, the Barrow Whites have awoken.
Удаление опасно. Хотя бы, конечно.
Was that a troll?
Если он сражается с смертями. Почему бы ему здесь не побегать? Ничего себе. А вот дух покричных троллей точно не живет. Так, придется избавиться от вот этих вот мелких помех. Хорошо, кажется, уже за нас избавились от них. Даже так. Отлично.
As long as there is a chance they still live, I won't give up the search.
Тоже немного поторопимся. Кстати, так и не спитал, кому тут узнал. Но подозреваю, его надо все-таки испытывать в окружении врагов. Или хотя бы рядом с группой. Ребят, может вы это... Кто-нибудь займется прикрытием? Снаряжение улучшено. А почему такие проблемы?
Looks like there's writing on these stones, but it's very worn. Can your elven eyes make it out, Lore Master?
Faintly. It appears to be a list of names, many of them scratched and paste. They are identified as soldiers of Cardalon.
The men of Cardalon were among the last of my ancestors to hold out against the evil of the Witch King. The histories tell us that they used the Barrow Downs as their last refuge in a hopeless fight.
Then there is a portal here, concealed by a charm of misdirection. It is simple enough to overcome. Pedro!
Ну, это точно не проход. Осторожнее. Тоже хода нет. Так, кажется, это просто ответвление. Оу. Даже так. Ну хорошо. Я так понимаю, мы принесли им покой. Для начала. Так, попробуем все-таки это испробовать.
Be wary. Something comes our way. Here, my friends, gather to this healing light.
А, что это было все время? Эй! Ого! Фарин, кажется, эту мертвую добил.
We can continue our journey.
This white is toying with us.
Fight me if you dare!
Enter the sphere of light and be healed. Cannot do that yet.
Ничего себе.
I need a little help!
Да, оно когда-нибудь упадет.
Rescue our friend, quickly! Can't take much more!
Да, ситуация. По идее, вот 2 навыка позволяют бить по группе противников. Но подходя к группе противников, мы огребаем с такой скоростью, что в принципе не успеваем по ним нанести удар. А теперь, кажется, заблудился. Мы же оттуда пришли? Да.
Just like a dwarf to spend so much time on the ground.
That was too close for comfort. You have my back.
I'm nearly finished.
Видите мне орков? С ними как-то попроще. Так, стоп. А вторая где осталась? Оружие, слава провидца, петуха. В могильниках, во вторую гробницу где-то все летите в могильники. А, ну что делать? Так, ладно. Пока что на этом придется притормозить, ибо сейчас придется развернуться и искать, что же мы там пропустили. Ну а на этом пока что все.